Hello student, today we talk about the endocrine system. So what is endocrine system? Endocrine system, it is a collection of glands that produce hormone, and the hormones regulate metabolism, growth and development, sexual function, reproduction, sleep and mood, among other things. And they are commonly referred as the ductless gland because the hormones secreted directly into the bloodstream. So next, what is gland? So gland is an organ which secrete particular chemical substance for use in the body or for discharge into the surrounding. The glands are classified in three types: endocrine gland, exocrine gland and heterocrine gland. Now, what is hormone? So hormones are the chemical messengers that are secreted directly into the bloodstreams, which carry them to organ, and their function is to carries them to organ from the blood and the tissues of the different parts of the body and exert their function. So next is the classification of hormone. So endocrine secrete number of hormones. Like first is the hypothalamus. From the hypothalamus, they are categorized into the anterior and the posterior pituitary gland. So the anterior pituitary gland secrete growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. And another, the posterior pituitary glands such as oxytocin and ADH. So next is the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland secrete two, adrenomedulla and the adrenal cortex. Adrenal medulla secrete epinephrine, non-epinephrine, and the adrenal cortex secretes mineralocorticoids and the glucocorticoids. And again the pancreas. Pancreas secreted alpha cell and the beta cell. So alpha cell secrete glucagon and the beta cell secrete insulin. So next is the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland secrete T3, T4 and the calcitonin. And the next one is the parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland release parathyroid hormone. Next is the ovary. Ovary secrete progesterone, estrogen, and the testes secrete testosterone, and the pineal gland secretes the melatonin. So they are the classification of the hormones. So next is the mechanism of hormone. So already we discussed about the hormones. Hormones are the chemical messengers secreted directly to the bloodstream by the endocrine gland, and they are target specific and they bind to a specific receptors. On the basis of the binding of hormone on their specific receptor, the mechanism of hormonal action is characterized into the two groups. The first is the fixed membrane receptor and the second is the mobile receptor mechanism. So in the fixed membrane receptor, look this in the diagram. The hormone that are the protein or amine in composition such as growth hormone, ADH, insulin, adrenaline, follicle stimulating hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, etc. show this mechanism of action. So these hormones are water soluble and cannot passes through the lipids. Okay, they cannot pass through the lipids, so they have their target receptor on the cell membrane, and the receptor are fixed on the cell membrane. So the hormone can bind on this specific receptor. After binding this receptor, the target cell activate the enzyme adenyl cyclase in the cell membrane. Okay, then and cause the production of the cyclic AMP, and the cyclic AMP act as a secondary messenger. It diffuses through the cell membrane and activates various enzymatic reaction to cause biochemical changes after the target cell respond to the changes. So CAMP is deactivated by a group of enzyme phosphodiesterase. Next is the mobile receptor mechanism. So the mobile receptor mechanism are such hormone. It is a lipid soluble hormone. So it is lipid soluble hormone, is a steroid hormone and fatty hormones. They can easily pass through the plasma membrane. Okay, so they have their receptor inside the cell, freely floating in the cytoplasm. As the name suggests, is mobile, so they are freely floating in the cytoplasm. Binding of hormone to specific receptor activate the enzymatic activity to the cell for biochemical changes. So some hormone like testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, cortisol, thyroxine have their receptor localized inside the nucleus. So the hormone receptor complex are carried inside the nucleus, and the hormone receptor complex initiate transcription of the DNA to form a specific messenger RNA. So messenger RNA initiate protein synthesis in the cytoplasm, and the protein causes biochemical changes in the cell. So next is the exocrine gland. The exo meaning outside. So exocrine gland are glands that secrete their product into ducts. For example, sweat gland. Sweat gland secretes sweat outside from the body, and the salivary gland secretes saliva. Mammary gland secretes milk, and the stomach, liver also example of the exocrine gland. And the next is the endocrine gland. Endo means inside the body. So these glands that secrete their product, for example hormones, directly into the blood rather than through a duct, also called ductless gland. For example, pituitary gland, pancreas, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, they are directly secrete into the blood. Next is heterocline gland. In heterocline gland, it is a mixture of both exocrine and the endocrine glands. Their best example is the pancreas. So why we can say the pancreas create both the functions, exocrine and the endocrine? So their answer is, as exocrine, the pancreas excrete enzyme to break down the protein, lipid, carbohydrate and nucleic acid in the food. Or we can say pancreas is also called the exocrine gland because it helps in the digestion. And the next one is the functioning as an endocrine gland. The pancreas secretes hormone, insulin and glucagon to control blood sugar level throughout the body. Okay, so next is it's a consist of number of glands: pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas and thymus gland. There are a number of glands which consist of these glands. And the next is the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland is a very important gland. It is a part of endocrine system. Its main function is to secrete hormone in your blood stream, and their shape is like a pea size, and it's play a major role in the regulating vital body functions and general well-being. It is also called as the master gland because it controls the activity of most of other hormone secreting glands. Yeah, in this diagram we can see where is the pituitary gland locate. So the pituitary gland located behind your nose near the underside of your brain. It's attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk-like structure. And the hypothalamus is a small area of your brain. It is very important in controlling the balance of your body function. It controls release of hormones from pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland can be divided into two different parts. First is the anterior and the second is the posterior lobe. In the anterior lobe, there are secrete number of hormones. First is the ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. ACTH, their function is to stimulate the adrenal gland to produce hormones, and the FSH, it works with the luteinizing hormone to ensure normal functioning of the ovary and testes. And the growth hormone, it is very essential in early year to maintaining a healthy body composition and for growth in children. And in adult, it helps healthy bone and muscle mass and affect the fat distribution. And the luteinizing hormone, it works with the follicle stimulating hormone to ensure normal functioning of ovaries and testes. In the prolactin stimulate breast milk production, and the TSH stimulate the thyroid gland to produce hormone. In the posterior lobe hormone secrete two hormones, ADH and the oxytocin. So ADH, it's prompt the kidney to increase the water absorption in the blood, and the oxytocin is the main function is to contracting the uterus during childbirth and stimulating breast milk production. So next is the thyroid gland. So thyroid gland is a butterfly shaped gland that sits low on the front of the neck, and our thyroid lies below our Adam's apple along the front of windpipe. And the thyroid has two side lobes connected by a bridge, and we can say, or we can also call the isthmus in the middle. When the thyroid it is normal size, we can't feel it. It is a brownish red in color. The thyroid is rich with blood vessels, nerve important for voice quality, and also pass through the thyroid. And the thyroid secretes several hormones. collectively called thyroid hormones. The main hormone is thyroxine, also called T4, T3. Hormones act throughout the body, influencing metabolism, growth, development, and the body temperature. And during childhood, educate thyroid hormones crucial for brain development. Okay, the disorder of thyroid. So first is the hypothyroidism. Hypo means insufficient secretion of the thyroid hormone. So it is an underactivity of the thyroid gland causing laziness, dullness, and the goiter also. And the hyperthyroidism means the excess secretion of thyroid hormone in our body. So because of these, our behavior is very active and the resulting loss of weight and the insomnia. Next is the goiter. Goiter is the general term of thyroid swelling. Goiter can't be harmless, or it represents the thyroid cause severe illness deficiency. Next is thyroiditis. It is an inflammation of the thyroid. Graves' disease is an autoimmune condition in which thyroid is overstimulated. And next is the thyroid cancer, thyroid nodule, and the thyroid storm. Yeah, parathyroid gland is located back of our thyroid gland. It secretes hormone parathormone, and the parathormone regulates the utilization of calcium and phosphorus in the blood level of the body. And the too much secretion of parathormone present poor physical coordination, and the less can lead to tetany. Tetany is an involuntary twitching and the spasm of the muscle. In this diagram we can easily see the what happened in the tetany. Tetany is a decreased function of parathyroid gland and the underproduction of parathyroid hormone. This can lead to low level of calcium in the blood, often causing cramping and twitching of the muscles. So tetany is a symptoms characterized by muscles cramps, spasm, or tremors, and this is a repetitive action of the muscle when our muscles contract uncontrollably. Tetany may occur in any muscles in our body, such as those in our face, finger, and the calves. So that's all, and thank you so much.